so I guess this is the next edition of RevGEN Reply.
And we have a little bit of construction going on, so we brought out the scotch to kind of calm our nerves because it's ruining all our content.
Yeah.
Keep pouring, Bill. There we go.
If you don't like our choice of scotch, leave us a note in the comments. Let us know what we should drink next.
So what are we drinking?
This is
Oh, Glen.
Glenlivet 12, the scotch of choice for every day.
I enjoy Glenlivet on the golf course, I think.
So,
Got a very meager pour. Cheers.
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 All
All
right.
right, RevGEN. Okay, so we have to provide a little bit of value.
Yeah.
We have a couple of hot topics. First one is going to be meta search. So we brought in our company experts. You know,
Well, I think a lot of people want to know, what is meta search? What does it do? I don't even know what it does.
Yeah, I know. You don't know.
let's back up. What does meta mean?
In my definition of meta is, and I'm actually going to borrow what you gave me, an aggregate of all the rates across all the channels in one site. So in the world of hotels, it's basically like Google Hotel Ads, TripAdvisor, Trivago, Kayak. Those are all meta channels because they're going to provide basically a one-stop shop for a potential guest to come and see every rate that's available for your hotel.
Which one do you
and-
think is the most important?
Google, hands down. Sorry to TripAdvisor and Trivago,
Yeah, I think like
Okay.
2/3 or 3/4 of all hotel searches start on Google.
but right. Yeah, I mean, it's just like even when you go to put funds, and we'll talk about kind of how that all works, into a meta search campaign, I think it automatically puts more funds into Google just because you know that that's where you need to invest more of your resources. So the point is of a meta search campaign is to get your listing, your most desired listing, your brand.com most likely, up to the top of the listings because that's going to be the one that's most likely to be clicked when someone's going through to make a booking. And the thinking is you don't want someone landing on, booking.com or expedia.com first because then you're going to be paying a higher commission on that booking.
Yeah. So
That's the thought.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. I think before we talk about how meta search works, the only way that you can even attempt meta search is if you have parity, right?
Right.
Because the whole point of meta search is that it's shopping every single rate. So if you have a rate lower on an OTA than your brand site, any amount of money you put behind your meta search spend is going to be pointless.
Right.
Well, is meta search fencing off member rates, right? Because like
Yeah.
Choice, Hilton, Marriott, they have member rates.
Yeah. So right now what they do is they'll slash through it.
They won't
So
show
they're-
the rate,
yeah.
but they'll slash through it, indicating that there's a lower rate. I personally think it's confusing because I think when a guest sees that, they're like, "Oh, the rate's not available," and they look at the other rates on the OTAs and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna click that one." But I guess that's their way of getting around member
But
rates.
But your point, it doesn't, right now it does not show
The actual
member rates
rates.
on OTAs.
Like an Expedia member promotion.
Right, so you
or
can
Expedia
still run like a mobile sale or a member deal on an OTA and it won't show up in the Google search.
So we could probably add, and we're using stickies to come up with questions, but we could probably add Book Direct and how successful it is. Because I feel like with the Hilton hotels, which we have a lot of experience with, the Book Direct campaign's working. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think we
Yeah.
talked about that before.
Yeah, I think just like in summary, I'd say it's working for the stronger brands, it's not working at all for the weaker brands.
In fact, it's probably hurting the weaker brands because they're getting a lower listing on the OTAs, which they need to rely on, and
You guys want to rank the brands from strongest to weakest?
no.
That's another.
Yeah.
Maybe after a couple of more of these.
Oh yeah?
Wait.
All right.
No, I want to keep
All right,
talking about that.
back to meta.
Okay.
Let's not get off topic.
So I think there's a lot of confusion right now. A lot of owners coming to us saying, what is this? What is this IHG Boost? What is this LQ Top or Level Up? Sorry, they all have different names. What is Hilton Advance? What is Hilton Elevate? What is Hilton Amplify? There are literally 3 different names for all the different funding programs that Hilton is running right now. So it can get very confusing. I understand that. But you kind of need to think about it there's a lot of different ways you can spend your money. So Meta is one of them, and that's just basically getting your listing to the top of the listings pages above all the OTAs. There's search and display. That's basically where, or display where you have an ad for your property as like a banner ad on a website. There's travel ads, which we all know, Expedia travel ads, that's getting your listing to the top of travel ads page. There's TripAdvisor sponsored listing, that's getting your listing in TripAdvisor to the top. So not only does TripAdvisor have sponsored listing, they also have Meta, and they have others.
Business listing.
They have business listing, they have instant booking, they've got cost per click. So there's all sorts of ways you can spend your money. Great news is, Career RevGEN Digital Strategy lets you do it all.
Oh, no shameless plugs. This is free, valuable content.
Yeah, free content.
For the world to gobble up.
But it is a lot to navigate.
It is a lot to
Where do you
navigate.
spend your money? Where do you get the return?
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
keep track of everything?
And to complicate things even further is a lot of these programs, everyone's saying spend money on Meta, but there's so many hidden costs that go into it.
Yes. Is that where we're going?
That's where we're going.
Let's talk hidden costs.
Hidden costs. So it's a very hot topic for
Yeah, I mean, there's
C over there.
We don't know because right now the brands are telling us just load $500 with this meta search marketing company. We don't know what is the meta search marketing company charging us, what is the brand charging us on top of the meta search marketing company, and I just feel like at what point does it not make it worth it to market to meta search to book direct versus an
Yeah.
OTA commission?
So wait,
Especially
let's
as you-
back up there real
Sorry.
quick. So why do you think the brand is? This kind of opens up Pandora's box, but why isn't the brand paying for this 100%?
Good question.
You're an owner.
Yeah, I'm an owner, and I honestly feel like it should be coming out of marketing dollars that they're charging as we shift from maybe print ad, TV ad to digital, that those dollars should be shifting, but they're not.
So they're just passing on the cost to you.
The cost is being passed on to the owner, and that's probably a whole nother chat that we could talk about, owners versus the franchisors. But yeah, it's basically in the end, it's costing the owner more to acquire that reservation.
But the one devil's advocate thing I will say is it's pretty cool that the brands and the owners can put their powers together, because the OTA spend so much on meta search. The only way you could possibly compete is if you're spreading the cost.
The responsibility.
Or the responsibility. All right, so back to
the fees.
fees. So without giving specifics.
Yeah, without giving specifics, think about like OTA commissions right now. It's a totally different world than it was 5-10 years ago when OTA commissions were as high as 20%. Back then, 25%, yeah. Back then, yeah, it made a lot of sense to put as much funding you could behind a brand.com campaign because you don't want to give away $25 on a $100 reservation. Now, though, the brands, for better or worse, have done a great job of negotiating with the OTAs to bring a lot of these commissions down to as low as like 13% in some cases. So, when we're talking about Meta, first of all, you have to spend the money into the campaign, right? So there's the initial spend up front. A lot of the brands are doing a great job of matching that, so there are some great ways that they're adding additional funds on top of what you're funding, but then there are a lot of hidden fees that go into when that booking is made. Sometimes it can be 7%, sometimes 9%, sometimes as high as like almost 11% for a booking that comes through a Meta channel through brand.com that the brand is charging on top of your spend that you've already contributed to this campaign. So when you really think about it,
So can you let's walk through a booking.
right. So you
Somebody
make,
shops one day, the rate is $100.
so say you funded $100 into a campaign and you're hoping for kind of a 10-to-1 return. So we're assuming you're basically spending about $10 on that reservation if you funded $100 and you're targeting a 10-to-1 return.
Well,
So it's-
and this is not taking into account, if you fund $100, you have management fees from the meta search marketing company.
Right.
And possibly brand fees. Right, so you're funding $100, but you may actually only be funding $90.
Right.
So, but you're still looking for a 10-to-1 return on the overall 100.
Yeah, they say that the that metasearch company fee is included in that return, but I don't know if I believe that.
So what,
So
if
that's
someone clicks on
your,
brand.com,
yep,
well, first of all, how do you get to the top of the sort? You have to outbid the OTAs, right?
right.
And so
And
if
that's
we're
a little bit of a black box, frankly. I mean, it's hard to know exactly
Probably
how much to
rotate you
bid.
through
Yeah.
based on a weighted average.
Yeah, I mean, they give you recommended bids, but at the end of the day, you don't really know. You're never guaranteed that you're going to be at the top spot.
Mhm.
So unless you spend a fortune, I guess, but I don't even know what that number is. So
So what's a typical cost per click?
I mean, the campaigns I've been running are like a quarter, but I don't know if those are. We just kind of started doing this, so I don't know how successful it's going to be.
I think that's really low.
Yeah.
I bet it's more like $1,
Yeah,
$2
probably.
a click.
Yeah.
So we ran Cody last year, or maybe earlier this year, on one of our properties, and I think we were getting a 6-to-1 return.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with that 6-to-1 return, would you recommend that to clients to run?
With a brand, probably not, because if you're spending, so let's go back to the 10-to-1 return just for simplicity's sake. It's like a 10% fee for,
Right.
and then if we're then getting hit with a brand fee of on average about 8%, that puts our fee for this booking at nearly 18%, plus any sort of
Points.
points fees.
Which is about 5%.
Yeah, the loyalty fees are about 5%. So that's the difference between taking it from an OTA or taking it direct through all that marketing. You're still getting charged at 5%. So that takes you up to 23.
Yeah, and then you know all the brand fees better than I do, but I mean, think about it. Right then and there. It's like I'd rather just let the OTA spend that money and pay the commission.
Yeah. So then we get into like a whole philosophical discussion of like where's the brand value, right? The brands see a ton of value
Sure,
because they're
getting
owning the
bookings.
guest.
Yeah.
But from an owner perspective, have we reached a tipping point where does it really matter where your consumer comes
Yeah, maybe book direct isn't so great anymore.
from? Yeah. What? Anything else
So-
on MetaSearch?
No, I mean, I am interested in running more campaigns. If we can get the ROIs to 20-to-1, 25-to-1, great. I think that then we can have a discussion and it might make sense. But until then, until the brands start coming down on their fees, I'm just not sure it makes sense.
Yeah, and as from an owner's perspective, we're running the highest occupancies we've ever run. I just don't think it's necessary for us to pour so much money into Meta to try to convert. I'd rather convert at the desk, right, from an OTA to a book direct guest for their next booking than just throw all this money kind of down a black box and not know whether you're getting a return or not.
Right.
Yeah. So, I guess the only good thing about Google, if we're talking like Google bookings, MetaSearch, right now they still have the website button or link right on the business listing for now.
Right. But all the
imagine if they ever
hotel
get rid
ad-
of that.
Yeah, if the hotel ads rates show up in the listing, which they do, then you're going to be looking at the rates before you click on that website button anyway. So
Yeah.
All right, should we change it up?
Yeah.